Hello, friends. We're here for another installment of Let's Talk Veterans Affairs with Dennis Anderson. I'm Dennis Anderson. I'm a licensed clinical social worker. I'm an Army veteran, Cold War vintage. I did spend some time in Iraq as an embedded reporter, and we have generations of service in our family. So the show is about veterans and things that are of matter to them. And I've been having an extended conversation with my colleague and battle buddy and friend, Jerry Rice. Jerry Rice, you're a licensed what?
I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist.
And you have a practice with veterans?
Yes, I do. I specialize in veterans with issues related to their service, post-deployment, PTSD, MST, and relationship issues just from coming out of one culture into another.
MST, what's that mean?
Military sexual trauma.
Okay, there's too much of it actually.
Right.
That said, you and I became acquainted, it was after 9/11, and it was actually around the time the Iraq War was spinning up. But it was also around the time of a tentpole event in our community, which was one of the traveling Vietnam memorials.
Right.
Now, there were many years when you didn't self-identify as a veteran.
No.
So when did that change?
Well, I picked up a master's degree in 1996. I went from the pipe trades to psychology. I don't know what the connection is, but I got a master's degree, started in 96. I graduated with a master's in clinical psych in 98. I stopped working in the pipe trades. I got that education because I wanted to get back with people. I wanted to help others.
Right.
And I didn't know exactly what that clientele would be. And so going through internships and traineeships with abuse, drug abuse, child abuse, domestic violence, those kinds of things, gathering my hours towards licensure. But in 2002, a moving wall, a Vietnam Memorial wall.
A Vietnam Memorial that looks like the Vietnam Memorial on the mall in Washington, D.C.
Absolutely. I think half-scale model. I think it came to the park in Lancaster. And I had not ever come out as a Vietnam veteran.
You'd not come out as a Vietnam.
No, I was being my civilian self, and I thought, well, I'll go. I fashioned up a boonie hat with a subdued 4th ID patch on it and a 101st patch on it and a CIB patch on it, and I went out there. I was nervous, out of the service, and I met the guys from Point Man there. I met George Palermo, Mike Bertel, Larry Pratt, Bob Evans was there. You were there.
And these were all guys who, if they had something in common, 3 out of 4 of them at least were draftees, but had also been in pretty hardball combat.
Right. So I made that attachment with those men, and it kind of dawned on me at that time that I could do something with veterans with the work that I was doing, and so over time I went to work for the VA system through our local vet center in Palmdale.
Tell me a little bit about what is a vet center.
A vet center was sort of a smaller, kinder, gentler VA that started with Vietnam veterans doing peer counseling.
Okay.
And then over the years, it's turned more clinical, where it is that for combat veterans mainly, and they try whenever possible to link veterans who are also therapists to help veterans.
Okay.
And so it was a perfect fit. I was recruited for that by Michael Jackson.
Because there's a lot. We'll talk about Mike. He's a whole topic area.
Right.
I want to set no relation to the other Michael Jackson. No. He was an Iraq War veteran.
Right.
Who stood up the VA Vet Center
Yes.
in our community.
Right.
But what I wanted to underscore about that was it really was you Vietnam combat veterans who saw a wave of PTSD coming out of Iraq and Afghanistan. Am I wrong about that?
Right. That was all triggering to us. This other war, and it's like, wow, or deja vu all over again, as they say. And it was quite a trigger for us. And And so I decided that that it would be a good idea for me to do that, and it really set a groundwork for me. I worked for them for 6 years, retired, and then I reinvigorated my private practice to, I work in care in the community now, and I see, pretty much exclusively, I see veterans.
We know a lot of combat veterans who have resistance to going to counseling or to getting help. Some of them suffer terribly, and we also have something like 20 or more veterans a day committing suicide. Jerry, what would you share with them, both as a combat veteran and as a clinical counselor?
I would say seek the help. When we were in the service, we relied on each other. We worked hand in glove with each other. We placed our lives in the hands of others, and they did the same with us. It was that mutual, reciprocal kind of thing.
Right.
And then when we came out, we decided that we were going to be some sort of lone oak, that rugged individualism that Tocqueville studied. This whole
Okay.
thing called individualism.
You're a
right?
history buff,
yeah,
too.
Yeah, so how's that working for you? I mean, that was said to me by Frank Cortinas at the Sepulveda Vet Center.
Ah,
So he knew he had just a few seconds to talk to me. He said, "You can live well with your PTSD, or you can live poorly with it. The choice is yours." And that one phrase stuck with me, and that's what that was a turning point for me about I can live better with what I've been through. And so I'm dedicated to that, and I think if you want to be a therapist, as an MFT, you have to do your own therapy, and I guess you can imagine what came out of that
Gotcha.
box. And it got worse before it got better.
yeah.
But all in all,
It got worse before it got better.
well,
Meaning-
I'm talking about it now. I'm
Okay.
feeling all of the feelings. I'm not just saying, we had a phrase in Vietnam, it don't mean nothing. Don't mean a thing, ain't nothing but a meatball, right? So, but it did mean something. So, wow. So I talked about it for the first time with my therapist,
Yes.
and I found so much freedom in that. I found so much relief in that. And I thought, I'm a therapist. I can do the same thing. And he wasn't a combat vet, but he was well read and he knew what he was talking about. And so I took my skills, those things that were the demons that came at me in the night, and I turned them into tools in my toolbox.
Yes, sir.
Because I've got PTSD and I can live better with it, and so can you. So that became kind of thematic overlay of my therapy practice.
That is the thematic overlay of your therapy practice, but I would also say, I know by personal attestation that many veterans in the community that I know say that you're a good therapist. And how's come?
Thank you.
You've been there, you've done that, but you also try to help them find the way to help themselves.
Absolutely. Agency and mastery in their lives.
Yeah.
They have the skills. I don't have any answers. I just ask the right question once in a while.
Friends, if you're suffering, don't give up. And if you feel resistant to the VA, Jerry is one, and another VA colleague, she said, it took me 3 times, but I finally got the help I need. And she was a hardball combat veteran. So please find your way to help. There's crisis lines, and the VA will try to help you. Most of the time, they will do a pretty good job.